Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to our June mini retreat. My name is Lolo. I'm the founder of A Soulful Sorrow, and it's truly such an honor to hold this space and time with you and for you. I'm going to go ahead and start to share my screen so that way we have something that we can go off of here. And for me, really, honestly, I don't know if there's anyone else here who needs some visual help because otherwise I can just go on tangents all morning long. So, anyways, let's present this here. If I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you yet in person or, like really connected yet on we're mostly on Instagram or through our website. It's such an honor to have you here. I really, really, truly believe that you just showing up and being here today is so courageous, um, especially when we're dealing with some really tender sorrows. Pregnancy and infant loss is some of the most tender sorrow I believe our soul can know this side of heaven. So I just commend you. I commend you for being here, for showing up for yourself. And yeah, you're absolutely incredible. A little bit about me in case we haven't met. I am a lost mom. I had two back-to-back first trimester losses about 8 years ago. That completely turned my world upside down. I was always the strong one. I was always, the one that had it all together. And my pregnancy losses, honestly, like, broke me in every way, even the foundation of basically who I was, everything I thought, what I believed. It was just a very hard experience. And I felt like when I looked at the world around me, there was really nobody speaking to the depths of like, what in the world? I am now in this body that I don't even recognize. I don't feel like myself. My landscape of friendships have changed and shifted. The way that I'm processing is completely different than my partner. How do we reconcile this? There was just so many things that I felt like, the quotes and the things online just were kind of just barely scratching the surface of. So I kind of felt even more isolated because I was like, man, nothing really seems to be speaking to those depths. And so I kind of went in hibernation and went into my own healing journey. And with that, I really came out on the other side. I'm so grateful to be so like God really took me on a whole healing journey and put so many incredible people on my path. But long story short, I went and I got trauma informed yoga certified, which was so incredible through something called Holy Yoga. I really dove into mindfulness, meditation, EMDR, somatics, all of the things, and really found myself in a lot of rooms with other grief and death doulas. And again, none of the things and modalities that were out there were super helpful, but nothing was actually tailored for the specific pregnancy and infant loss grief. And so I found myself like tweaking things to making it work for myself. And I got through it. Long story short, I now have two beautiful rainbow babies earthside. And anyways, I'm, almost a decade after my losses, and it just kept coming up. And I knew that this is my calling to come back to this lost community and to give the tools back to the people that really need them. And so that's what we do here at A Soulful Sorrow. We have everything is tailored and it's safe for pregnancy and infant loss. We use a lot of different modalities that we'll get into today, which is going to be so helpful and healing. And yeah, my background is in nursing. I've been a nurse for, gosh, almost 15 years. So I've been at the bedside of countless losses with families, and I know what it is to be on both sides now. And so I just want you to know that I hold safe space and reverence for you and your unique journey. And so I kind of already talked about this, but yeah, we really exist to help evolve this narrative of loss from something that's been overly clinicalized or kind of cold and just kind of breezed over to something that's more sacredly approached and more inclusive with that reverence, because it is a transformational experience that I feel like people don't speak of our losses in this way. So we're here to really guide women in a healing journey to help transmute this grief that we feel, that oftentimes our culture leaves us with. It feels purposeless. What do we do with this grief? And we actually teach and empower you to actually embody and transmute this grief into meaningful ways into your life, so that way you can come out the other side in a more whole, healed way. And when I say on the other side, I don't mean, oh, you're going to conquer this and you're going to get through this, right? It's more of a unfurling. It's a journey, and healing. We honor our baby and babies at every single step. So I think there's so much guilt sometimes with moving forward or trying to heal, and we're like, ah, but my grief tethers me, right? Like to my story, to my baby. And so we honor that, and we very much are all about honoring our babies as we move forward into the person that we are meant to grow into after loss. So um, first things first, just checking in with ourselves of how we're arriving. Feel free, if you want to hop into the chat box, if you're feeling exhausted, if you're feeling curious, if you're feeling whatever it is, feel free to just pop in there. But however you are showing up today, whether your grief feels fresh and thick, whether it feels kind of light today, or your loss has been, months or years ago, you are welcome exactly as you are today. And something that we'll talk about often is practicing the practice of curiosity over judgment. And so today, as we enter into this sacred container together, this hour of time to fill your cup, just practicing curiosity over judgment, recognizing when there's moments that, we're going to do some visualization, we're going to do some journaling. There might be moments where you're like, I haven't done this in a long time, or like, I've never done this, or like, am I doing this right? All those little thoughts, we just are going to let them go and just be curious of like, why is this coming up for me? Why do I feel that I need to do this right? How am I judging myself for my grief? Right? So all those things, we just try to practice curiosity over judgment. If you happen to have a candle with you, you can grab that now. And if you don't, no worries. I will be lighting a candle on behalf of all of our babies. And we always do this here at A Soulful Sorrow with everything we do, because we honor our babies, and just lighting a candle is just a moment of silence and reverence. So if you can, go ahead and light your candle now. And that will be on right next to me the whole time here. I'm going to read you guys a little opening blessing. If you'd like to, you can keep your eyes open, or you can start to close them if that feels safe for you. Just a really brief opening blessing, and we'll open and close with the same one. So may you feel seen, may you feel heard, may you feel held. And in the times when you do not, may you know that you are deserving of all these things. May you be grounded, may you be slow, may you be gentle. And in times when you are not, may you return to your breath and simply be. May you know your body, may you know a softer way of being, may you know your worth. And in times when that is hard, may you choose yourself over others, even if only for a moment. So that moment is now. We're choosing to fill our cups together, and I honor that with you. So today we're going to kind of dive into, how do we cultivate self-compassion and softness towards ourselves in our stories? We live in a culture, I don't have to tell you guys too much. You probably have each of your own unique stories and encounters with how you've felt minimized, or how you felt rushed in your process after loss. Our culture simply is not there yet. We're getting there. It's changing, but right now we're still very much in the shadows. And with that, we kind of pick up cues from the world around us for how we, quote, should process our loss. And so, honestly, the root of discontentment in grief because grief is a unique path for each of us. Grief is kind of one of those funny human experiences where we all will experience grief. It's one of those universal experiences. Every single human will experience and endure grief of some type. However, grief is also, as universal as it is, it's also extremely unique to each of us. And each of us, the other common thing is we all feel alone in it, which is really interesting. And there's different reasons for that, but I know that our culture certainly doesn't help us. And so that root of discontentment that we feel, or that loneliness, should become shame. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard this before, but should is actually could shrouded in shame. And so when it comes to our losses, and each of us have different circumstances, I know for me, and for a lot of women that I mentor and talk with, there is always this element of should in our story. I should have known. I should have not gone on that exercise, bike, or I should have not gone to that one event, or I shouldn't have got on that plane, or whatever we feel that we maybe should or shouldn't have done that could have changed the outcome of our pregnancies. It's a very, very common feeling amongst us. So if you have a journal, you can start to make little notes, or just rhetorically kind of asking yourself in your own journey, where have you shoulded on yourself in your grief journey after loss? So this could be something, a circumstance surrounding your loss. And this could also be after the fact, now that you're in your grieving process and you're processing and you're on this healing journey. Where are you shoulding on yourself? Like, have you ever caught yourself thinking, I should be more healed by now, or I should be able to go to that baby shower by now. I should be able to be happy and be around this person who's newly pregnant. Whatever shoulds are coming up, I just invite you to kind of bring those to mind. And then just asking yourself, where does this pressure come from? Like, where am I finding and feeling like this pressure coming from? Is it coming from my partner, from my mother-in-law? Is it coming from friends and family? Is it coming from the world around me, my workplace? Where are these shoulds coming into play? There we go. So the origin and cycle of shame is really interesting. So shame, honestly, at the core of it is that we did something wrong, right? That we're in the wrong, whether it was a circumstance around our loss or even just how we're processing afterwards. So there's something innately wrong with how we're processing it, right? Or how we held the pregnancy, whatever it is. So again, asking yourself, where can you trace back that feeling that you've done something wrong? I love, love, love Brene Brown. Anybody else? She is just the queen. I adore all of her work. And she's done a lot of work around shame. And one of the things she says that shame cannot survive. It can't survive these three things. It cannot survive, or excuse me, it needs three things to survive. It needs secrecy, silence, and judgment. And when we think about perinatal loss, check, 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 right? It's like we got all three. We got the secrecy, we got the silence, and we have the judgment. In any capacity, that is all the perfect storm for more and more shame to take root. And so I always talk about this with my clients and in our collective, is that after loss, whether we're aware of it or not, our bodies, our minds, our spirits are such rich soil for shame to take root, for a lot of different lies and things to get misconstrued in our own hearts and in our stories. Not to mention, I'm not going to get into it today, but loss is trauma. If you guys saw one of my recent posts, I talked about this, about how our brains literally have a hard time processing what's happening. Our language center goes offline, our memory center goes offline. So honestly, everything is kind of discombobulated. Put that with those three things as well, and it is like a shame cyclone that we can get caught into sometimes. And so we here at A Soulful Sorrow so passionate about naming those things so that we can actually begin to untether ourselves from this tangled web of shame sometimes that we can find ourselves in. And you guys know it. I know it. Let's be honest and real. It's in our minds. It's usually between our ears. We've all been there. We've all been there. You are not alone in those moments, in those darkness moments where you are thinking and thinking through and continuing to think certain thoughts or memories come up. So here's something I want to say very, very gently, based on maybe where you're at in your journey. But truly, grief can be one of our greatest teachers. And people in our culture, we really don't speak of it in this way because we've been conditioned to kind of fear grief from the heavy emotions. That's just how we are, right? And especially in America, we're on a highlight reel on social media. Nobody's posting crying in their closet. Last time I've checked, I haven't seen anybody do that. um, so this invitation, and today it's just maybe a gentle invitation. What if we could actually begin to reframe our view of grief? This view of this heaviness and this shame as actually a teacher versus something that we need to contain, control, or conquer. Would more self-compassion come through? I think so. I think so. I think that in those moments when we are getting critical, when we are stuck in that shame cyclone, if we can take a step back, it might not be in the moment. That's okay. And it takes practice, right? The more we practice this, the easier and more attainable it is for us to access. But when we can step aside and begin to almost watch ourselves third person, and we're actually going to practice this in the visualization a little bit, but starting to look at, okay, interesting. I feel rushed to heal. I feel like I should be farther along or I should be ready to try to conceive again, whatever the should is, and asking ourselves why. Next time that grief comes knocking on your door, it's probably going to come knocking on your door in this hour of time. Viewing our grief as an entity, as almost a companion. Like I said, we all are going to experience grief. So what if we could view it as a steady companion and a teacher? I don't know if you guys saw a post I recently reposted. There was this beautiful, I think it's called Scar Poetry. It was this beautiful poem of spoken word of this woman who was speaking about grief. And it was talking about how she opens her door and she lets it in and she, pours it a glass of tea and they start to talk and she's asking, what are you here for? What do you want me to know? What do you want me to remember? What do you want me to recall? And it's this beautiful exchange. There's also a song, and I'll play it for you guys when we are actually journaling. It's called Grief is a House. And the lyrics say, if you want to move out of, like they talk about grief being a house, if you want to move out, you have to actually move in. You have to buy a couch. You have to get comfortable here. You have to actually allow yourself to feel things because what we don't let in, we actually can't really let go. And it's painful and it's hard. And that is where community and support like this come into play to give you that gentle guidance in allowing yourself to start to unpack and understand what you've been through in loss because it is so complex. Just a little gentle reminder as we start to move forward into some visualization of kind of some of the things we've talked about, remembering and honoring that your story is yours and yours alone. And your journey is your unique path. And the way that you're processing and the way that you're showing up makes perfect sense. Like somebody with your same history, nervous system, upbringing, cultural background, belief systems, all of the things, you're moving through this exactly as someone who has all of that should. So you are right on time. And another thing that I see sometimes in the loss community is starting to compare our losses with other losses, right? Of like, oh my gosh, she had a stillborn, or oh my gosh, she had an ectopic and she lost a tooth. Like whatever the circumstances are, it's very, very easy for us to look left and right and to try to compare. But do you guys see what's happening with my hands when I'm doing this? When I'm comparing, It's actually constrictive. I'm looking at myself and I'm looking at other people and I'm constrictive. And I'm trying to weigh myself against other people. Whereas healing actually happens when we just acknowledge and accept our story as it is. And we also hold space and love for all other stories too. Knowing at the end of the day that loss is loss and that grief is grief. And if that is the place that healing can truly happen. So, just again, asking yourself and calling back to memory what parts of your story have been hard for you to accept. And then, what would it feel like to cover those spaces with a little bit more love, a little bit more grace, a little bit more compassion? Because truly healing can't happen without that love and compassion. So I kind of spoke on this a little bit, and I know that you guys know what I'm talking about when I talk about grief and the stories like in between our ears in our minds, right? The tapes in our mind matter. So asking yourself, what are the common things that I can say to myself that are either unkind or critical around my loss experience? So I'm going to be really honest for a moment. After my losses, a lot of really nasty, I was very, very nasty to myself. I had a lot of terrible thoughts about I am a failure as a woman. My body couldn't do what it's designed to do. Something is wrong with me. I am not a mother. I, it was like a really, really dark time for me. Um, so I had a lot of I am statements that really held me back. So have you adopted any of those like I am statements, like I am not a mother, or I am a failure, whatever it is? So just asking yourselves what tapes play in the background or sometimes get loud. And so, it's a lot. And now we're going to actually start to move inward. And now that we've kind of spoken about and spoken out about shame and the shame cycles and how we can actually be invited to a softer way of moving through loss and grief, we're actually going to put that softer way into practice now. And so I'm going to just kind of give you the lay of the land before we dive in, just to give you ease. So we're going to basically go through like a grief bodywork session. So it's going to be about 5 to 10 minutes. I will allow you to kind of calm your nervous system down, and I'll actually teach you guys a lot of tools that you can do obviously now and then also later whenever you're feeling triggered or you just want to kind of relax. I have a lot of those little ideas for you. So we'll practice a couple of those right now. And then I'll guide you through a little gentle somatic body scan where basically we'll start at the crown of our head, we'll move all the way down through our toes, and we're just checking in with ourselves. It's something that we don't give ourselves the gift of doing. And it's really interesting what will come up. You'll think like, oh, I bet you that I'm going to want to journal about XYZ. And then, because we're going to move into journaling after we do this, but just allow yourself to detach from judgment and just be curious for whatever might be showing up because emotion and memory hang out in our body. And so when we start to connect the mind and body, maybe other things want to come up. And so, anyways, we'll check in with ourselves. We'll go back to those critical tapes, and I'll actually invite you to rewrite some of those tapes with more kind mantras, and we'll practice those together with your eyes closed. Then I'll actually have you guys open your eyes and start to journal and process a little bit deeper. Okay, so that's what you can expect. I always ask if it's more supportive for you to turn your camera off during this time so that way you're not concerned of like, is anyone staring at me? Am I doing this right or wrong? Just be in your space. Like this is truly your time for you to really soak in time, and anything that is a barrier to that, you can, get out of there now. So if there's a space that you feel comfortable closing your eyes in, I encourage you to get there. If you're sitting down, get cozy. If you're laying down, you can lay down. You can be in your bed, in your car, whatever is works for you. So first things first, we're just going to kind of orient our nervous system with our surroundings. So I'm going to ask you to just start to look around and notice 3 colors in the space around you. And now notice 3 different textures. Really taking in the textures around you. Maybe this can be with your eyes, or if you're sitting on something, maybe feeling the fabric beneath you or the blanket around you. Now we're actually going to do something that I call eyeball yoga. It's a little vagus nerve reset. So we're going to have our eyes go left and right. Our eyes are open. Our head is looking straight ahead. And it's only our eyes that are moving. And our eyes are just going to look left and right very gently. And what you'll feel in a moment or two is this sensation to take a yawn or a deep breath. And that is just your vagus nerve actually resetting and allowing yourself to calm down and go into parasympathetic. So once you feel that wave of calm, go ahead and close your eyes if it feels safe for you. And I just want you to start to focus in on your breath. In your next few inhales, just starting to deepen them, lengthen them. On your exhales, you can start to open your mouth and let them out with a sigh. On your next inhale, imagine your ribs and your back 360 expanding, sipping a little bit more air at the top. Let it go with a sigh. Again, another deep, intentional breath. Letting it go. We're going to take some more inhales for the count of 4. So go ahead and inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold at the top. 2, 3, 4. And release. Exhale. 3, 4. Go ahead and inhale again. 2, 3, 4. Hold at the top. And exhale. 2, 3, 4. One last round of breath. Inhale. Hold at the top. And release for the count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Now just allow your breath to be what it wants to be. We're just going to start with our check-in and our body scan, starting at the crown of our head, almost imagining that there's like an X-ray machine, just tuning in to what's going on in our mind and body, starting at the crown of our head, just starting to notice with curiosity, not judgment, if there's any tension in our head, maybe if there's any staggering thoughts, just letting them go, coming down through the neck and throat area, recognizing if this feels tight, constricted, coming down through the shoulders, just maybe allowing ourselves to exhale and melt our shoulders further away from our ears, softening and letting things go, coming down through our heart space, holding curiosity for maybe how emotion feels in our heart today. It might feel light, it might feel dense, or maybe there's actually an emotion that's coming through for you. Again, we're just noticing with compassion. Coming down through our belly. Again, seeing if we're holding, if that feels constrictive and tight. And if it does, just with your next exhale, trying to imagine softening into this space. As we come down to our womb space, this holds so much energetically for us after loss. Just taking a moment to just give love and curiosity to this part of our bodies. Again, allowing any emotion that's hanging out here to just be witnessed. That's all it wants. It just wants you to notice it, to be validated and seen. As we come down through the hips, again, noticing if we're holding any tension or emotion here. Bringing our awareness down through the tops of our thighs, back of our hamstrings, down through our knees, our calves, our shins, all around our ankles, the tops of our feet, the bottom of our feet, and finally our toes. Now I'd like for you to just be curious and go back to the area of your body that felt activated, that felt talkative, or maybe just constricted. Go back to that place with your mind's eye. Optional, if you'd like to actually place your hands over that area, if that feels supportive, you can. And just holding space for ourselves in this part of our body. Our bodies hold our emotion, they hold our stories. So as we hold our attention in this area, I'm just going to lead you through a very gentle breath prayer. On the inhale, we're saying we are here. And on the exhale, letting yourself know you are listening. So on the inhale, I am here. And on the exhale, I am listening. Go ahead and repeat that for a few more breath cycles. I want you to begin to draw your hands out in front of you as if you're about to be given a gift in your hands. So just right in front of your heart space, palms are open. And I want you to start to draw out that emotion or that story, whatever it is that came through for you right now that wants to be held and seen. I just want you to now imagine that you're holding it in your hands. Just examine it, just look at it with curiosity. This is a part of you. This is a part of your story. And it deserves reverence and love and compassion. So as you're holding it in the palm of your hands, eyes still closed, I want you to begin to send it a message of compassion or love. Maybe it's just a feeling of appreciation, a feeling of gratitude, or just a feeling of witnessing, like, I finally see you. I finally am holding space for this part of myself. If this belief or this emotion is attached to a story or an I am statement or shame that we've spoken on, call that to mind. And now gently start to reframe that thought or that feeling with compassion and with truth, with love. So that could look like, again, just simply stating, I am here and I am listening. It could be, I am right on time. I am a mother. I am worthy of healing on my own timeline. Soak in that love, soak in that compassion that we're so thirsty for. And now I actually want you to return your hands back to that place that felt activated, bringing in that love and compassion back to that place. And just feeling that settling into your system. And I invite you to just come back to your breath, inhaling, holding at the top, and then sighing it out on your exhale. Another round of breath, inhaling, holding at the top, and exhaling what doesn't serve us. One more big inhale. Inhale all the love and compassion and support here in this space. And exhale, let it go, anything that no longer serves you. Go ahead and start to bring attention to your body, wiggling your fingers and your toes. Starting to gently open your eyes, coming back to the space around you. And if you have your journal and pen, go ahead and grab that now. And we're going to move through something called free flow journaling. And these are all invitations. So take whatever invitation feels right for you. You can simply reflect, what can I say to myself when I get critical? So maybe something came through for you in that body scan. And then if you'd like to move through free flow journaling, what it is basically is keeping your pen on your paper for the whole 5 minutes. And if you lose track of what you're saying or you don't know what to write, you can simply doodle or just write blah, blah, blah until another thought drops back in. But I have a bunch of different free flow journaling prompts. You can choose one or you can use all of them. You can skip around, whatever works for you. This is your time. And I'm going to play that song, Grief is in House, that we spoke about, of about 5 minutes. By myself only a couple years ago. I remember each time trying to keep my life in boxes. Wasn't ready to call it home. I danced around the kitchen to feel lighter. Punching holes in walls to feel more control. And I would have set every on fire had somewhere else to go. Grief is a house in a rough part of town. Sure cost a lot for a place you wouldn't choose to settle down. But I know now you gotta move in if you ever wanna move out. To fill the closet with your clothes and buy a couch. 'Cause grief is a house. And I swear you'll never see the world the same again once you walk out that door. But you're stronger than before. There's a house in a rough part of town. Sure costs a lot for a place you wouldn't choose to settle down. But I know now you gotta move in. Never wanna move out. Fill the closet with your clothes and buy a house. Grief is a house. Sometimes there's a feeling that keeps knocking, so I'll stop in for the day. Grief is a house in a rough part of town. Sure costs a lot for a place you wouldn't choose to settle down. But I know now you gotta move. You're still in the groove and writing. I encourage you to keep on writing. Finish up your thought, and we're going to start to transition into our connection time. And before we do that, I want to just also reread our blessing over us to close out our time together. And place a hand over your heart if that feels right for you. You can close your eyes or keep them open. May you feel seen. May you feel heard. May you feel held. And in times when you do not, may you know that you are deserving of all of these things. May you feel grounded. May you be slow. May you be gentle. And in times when you are not, may you return to your breath and simply be. May you know your body. May you know a softer way of being. May you know your worth. And in times when that is hard, may you choose yourself over others, even if only for a moment. It has been a pleasure to spend this time with you. I commend you and your courageousness for diving into such a vulnerable sorrow. And so I am so honored. It's such a privilege and an honor to hold space like this with you and for you. It's something that I just treasure so much. So thank you for being here. Truly, I just hope that you know that your story matters and every single loss matters. And our soulful sisterhood is always here for you and with you. And I know a lot of people oftentimes think that we're just a pretty Instagram, but I promise you that's not all that we do. It's so much deeper than that. A lot of people don't even know this, but we actually have an app. And inside of this app is our holistic healing course. So if you felt like, oh my gosh, this like unlocked something in me, like I've been craving this, that is what our entire step-by-step holistic healing course is all about. You get to go in and do these modules, put your headphones in, and just focus on yourself. And it's this step-by-step building process that will help heal your mind, body, and soul. So there's moments for you to just kind of go inward. But then what else I love about the app is that there's time and place for that, but then there's also a time and place where you actually want to connect with other people off social media, where you're just in a safe place to be unfiltered. You can connect with other people. And so we have chats and we have support groups just like this. If you're TTC after loss, if you are, we have all the different types of chats and stuff. So if that's for you, please know that that's always available. And a little overview of what our healing course is, because it's truly the heart and soul of everything that we do. Like I mentioned, it is mind, body, and soul. So there's 26 modules you can go through at your own pace. But we really focus on healing the mind and the trauma and the stories and the shame and all the things. So we use like meditation like that, journaling and somatics. There's yoga, there's getting you outside in nature. It's so beautiful. And then I probably don't have to tell you guys this, but this grief is unique because it happens in our own bodies, right? Like our own very systems. And so we have this harboring of a lot of distrust and disconnection in our bodies. And so in module 2, we really focus on how to reconcile that and reconnect with ourselves in meaningful ways. And so we really dive into that in module 2 with a lot of more physical engagement with our trauma and with our grief. Also, I don't know if you guys have ever felt this way, but oftentimes when we have grief, people are just like, just go cry in the corner. Like that's our only option, right? This actually gives us ways that we can engage with our grief in different ways besides just crying in the corner. You get to go outside. You get to actually go and get tangible items and actually move through your grief and do these beautiful practices that will help release and engage it in a different way. And then the third part of our program is called Soul, and it's all about honoring the spiritual journey that we've been on as mamas, and also how do we connect and honor our babies too. So we have a lot of integration for, moving towards healing and gratitude and connection to ourselves, and also honoring rites of passage, because with all other grief and loss, we get ceremony, we get ritual, we get, the celebration of life, we get all the different things. But with this type of loss, we aren't afforded those things typically. So what we do is we actually help empower you with a lot of those rites of passage that you can do privately or with your partner. And it really just helps you to heal on a deeper level. And it also will kind of empower you to move forward and honor your baby's legacy as you move forward. We have hundreds of mamas in there from all over the world. I am like gonna cry when I talk about, sorry, I'm really emotional right now. Each and every one of the moms in our community are just incredible. Like if you're looking for a soft place to land and support, I just opened the app this morning and somebody was talking about a horrible experience they had at their doctor's follow-up appointment. And there was like 5 comments of just like, I'm here for you. I've been there. Sorry. Wow. Truly, it's an amazing support tool. And so I just never want you guys to feel alone. It's something that's always there 24/7 for you. And if you use the code LOVED, you'll get 20% off. And so, yeah, you guys will get an email with more details. But if you guys just go through our website or link in our bio, you can also get it anytime. Um, and with that said, I'm actually going to stop recording so that way the folks here who are here in real time can soak in our time together. If you're watching this on a recording, we love you so much and hope that you can meet us here on our next live retreat.